I think HonMonO just can't be bothered playing macro games. No. He plays a lot of macro again. Like if you watch HonMonO versus like any kind of Zerg player, like he's all about the macro. He plays mech. So you know, he turtles up, you know, up to 4 base, 5 base saturated. He cuts the map in half, plays mech. It happens. But not against Protoss. It's very much so a matchup thing. But here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our pink Polish Protoss player representing Team Blazer, looking to avenge his countrymen, looking to avenge Art. It is Krystianer. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player living in the land of Japan, representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. Here we go. Meanwhile, as we ease our way into the finals, a big shout out to Fighting Frog. Fighting Frog, the Swedish player, was a participant of today's tournament, and in today's tournament there was a random raffle. There was a random raffle that our lovely admin Eddie did organize and host himself. And Fighting Frog, even though he got knocked out in the first round, he does walk away with 5 USD. Nice. So a little bit of a random consolation prize. It's something that OSC does for their events, where, you know, for their events to kind of incentivize participation, they do just do a random raffle and then bam, doesn't matter where you placed, how far you went, made some money. So GG. Congratulations to Fighting Frog. Well done. Well done. Sometimes the random prize pool goes to someone who got knocked out in the first round, sometimes to the finalists, and it just boosts their prize money for the finals. Does happen. Meanwhile, Krystianer does come with the probe scout, does get into the main base, does confirm the racks and the gas follow-up, and it is going to be interesting. Despite, just single gas opener, so it's going to be a racks expand out of HonMonO. This is the most economic opener that we've seen so far from HonMonO for the entire tournament. Racks expand, very standard, very economic. Now, bearing in mind, HonMonO knows he was being watched. He knows he was being watched in that last game, so is going to be playing with his reputation a little bit, and yeah, this is a standard opener so far. Everything is looking normal. Meanwhile, behind this, Krystianer going for a Stargate opener of his own, going for a Gate Cyber Expand. So economic opener out of Krystianer, going for a Stargate, going for, I imagine, Phoenixes. Could be going Oracle first, though. We'll see how Krystianer approaches this. Second probe is moving out. Trying to get a read on what's going on. Krystianer still hasn't seen the expansion. He doesn't know what we know. And the probe is going to be denied. For all Krystianer knows, it could be an all-in. So I love this. Krystianer, he responds with... Oh, never mind. We saw a sentry for a moment. Shield... Shield batteries on the way. Adepts as well. That's going to be a second... Oh my... Krystianer! He's mind-gaming himself. HonMonO is just chilling. He's going into a Rax Expand into a 1-1-1. Krystianer, he was denied the scout. He doesn't know that his opponent did expand, and he is overreacting a little bit. He's very afraid. He's chilling back at home with his adepts. Again, getting 2 shield batteries in the main. Oracle is moving out. Another probe as well. And eventually, Krystianer will realize what's been happening. Will realizes. Here we go. Oracle diving towards that main, and we finally get eyes on the expansion. The Marines as well. Oh. Hon Macro, is that you? We're even investing into the disable here, interference matrix for the Ravens. Oracle dips into the main. There was a Widowmine in position. Oracle goes down. Aye. Not a good start here for Krystianer. He invested and wasted resources on the site defense. He lost his first Oracle. Second Oracle is coming out, but no more one-shot potential. Not the best start here from Krystianer. Meanwhile, HonMonO, he's getting up to his 3-1-1 setup. 3 Raxes, 1 Starport, 1 Factory. Tank production is underway. We have a tech lab on the racks, which means Stim is going to be researched, so we're going to be hitting a bit of a later timing. With this first medevac, we can go for some drop play, but for now, HonMonO is staying back at home, and Krystianer is coming in for some harassment. He needs to do some economic damage. He needs to do something here to HonMonO. Adepts are going to be shading in, and again, we still have that Oracle as well. Here we go. So now HonMonO just building himself back up. Behind this, Immortals are on the way. We're going for a bit of a gateway explosion. Oh my god, Krystianer going for 4 gates as well as a bay, delaying the 3rd. I think this is okay. So on the one hand, I would say that we're holding off on the 3rd base for quite some time, which is typically not a good thing. But against HonMonO, playing safe and staying on 2 bases a little bit longer, I don't think is a bad thing to do. I think it's a wise choice here. Krystianer, he is respecting HonMonO a lot. I think maybe a bit too much. As we are doubling down a little bit, going up to 5 gates. 5 gates, Robotics Bay, and a Twilight Council. This isn't a 2-base all-in. Because of all this tech, we still have to invest into upgrades for like Blink or Charge and Colossus production, Extend Thermal Lance. It takes a while to get into this. I'm pretty sure eventually we will take a 3rd. Oh, HonMonO though, he's looking for that 3rd, goes for the scan. But again, a very delayed 3rd from Krystianer. Oracle comes in, Revelation on the production, gets eyes on the tank counts, gets eyes on the researching here. And with that Revelation on the tank, HonMonO is going to be pushing, or at least painting out a push. Does move out with some of his units here towards the right-hand side. HonMonO's main army here towards the left. As HonMonO just picks up and goes back into the main. Basically, just trying to fake out a push. Krystianer stays the straps of being, again, very paranoid. I mean, very solid setup, don't get me wrong. Because of this 2-base play from Krystianer, we already have 2 Immortals, Shield Batteries, Colossus, Stasis Straps. And HonMonO, he's pulling the boys. It is a 2-base all-in. The cautiousness of Krystianer may just pay off. Again, he doesn't have a 3rd, but thankfully, that means so much more money was invested into the production, into the defense. Stasis Trap is going to get baited, but we have 2 more. We have 2 more traps left behind this. Here we go. HonMonO is committing. Tanks are sieging. The boys are here. 2 more Stasis Traps are available. The scan does reveal them. He knows. He's going to bait them out. 1 Stasis Trap left. Tanks are slowly leapfrogging forward. Turrets are on the way. And we can see a surround being set up here by Krystianer. Looking to come in from behind with those charge loss. Charge is done, by the way. We're committing. We dive on top of the tanks. 1 tank gets lifted. The Zealots, they come in from behind and we swallow up this army. Good target firing on the Colossus, but we pull back. Krystianer, he saves the Colossus. 1 tank is left. And it looks like we barely can't get on top of it. We are forced back, but that is 14 dead SCVs. And with the wave of reinforcements, we can dive on in. We can dive on this army. The tank barely survives. Oh my god. The tank lives. The mule to repair. No, the Oracle. The Oracle comes in, snipes the tank. And that was the backbone of this army. The Stasis Trap does go off. It catches half of the units. There's 1 tank remaining. Overcharge popping off. HonMonO up in army supply, desperately trying to break his opponent. That 1 tank posing a big threat here. Reinforcements are on the way. Another tank is coming out. But here come the charge lots. Yeah, we do lift up the tank. Get on top of the Marines, get on top of the Marauders. We snipe a Colossus! No shot. The Colossus gets sniped. The tank's still alive as well. I think lifting up the tank wasn't the best move when the Zealots came in. I think the Zealots could have just killed the tank there, so a little bit not too sure about the move there, but regardless, Krystianer, he's holding. Meanwhile, HonMonO behind this. Still on a 2-base economy, still just rallying across the map. Has almost broken his opponent. HonMonO, he is up in army supply. There's only 1 Colossus. Viking has arrived. Can HonMonO pull this off? He's making 2 Vikings at a time. Hiding against the Phoenix. Phoenix is going to go down. The Phoenix does fall. We dive on top of the army. We avoid the fight. We go for the Doom Drop into the main. HonMonO goes straight for the main base. He takes control of the ramp as well. The tank will siege. The tank will siege. Okay, we go for the Temple Archives. We're backing off. We're going to be retreating here. The Vikings going ham on the Colossus. The Archons doing what they can. It looks like they will get on top of the army. They clean up the ground army. The Colossus was targeted down by the Vikings. Going blow for blow. Krystianer may lose his splash damage, but HonMonO lost a big chunk of his Marines. Those Archons, they just dove on him. And HonMonO, he has to back off. Krystianer taking a 3rd. Krystianer will be taking that third base. HonMonO throws down a third TC. He has recognized he cannot end the game, and HonMonO is forced to expand. Crazy. Both players going for their third bases. HonMonO going for a Ghost Academy as well. Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. Third TC's here in the main. Ghost Academy's here at the natural. And the game is going to settle from here. Now, Krystianer, he does have a higher worker count, and I think he's going to be able to get his third base up and running a little bit faster as well. I love that HonMonO is already working on his Liberators. Liberators is going to be a big boon here to his opponent, especially because he doesn't have Blink Stalkers. Like Krystianer, he's stuck with Charger Archon. Charger Archon does amazingly against a ground-based composition. It can swallow it up, it can dive on top of tanks and marines, but against Liberators, they are not ideal. That is where Blink Stalkers are going to be required, and we're not going to have them. The freedom, it's coming. Ooh, the observer does spot those libs. We are aware. There it is. Blink is finishing up, and charge. What? I saw Storm on the way for a moment, but we did cancel Storm actually. Thankfully, Blink is finishing, and upon seeing all those libs, Krystianer, he knows that he has to reinforce his army with more Blink Stalkers instead. These ghosts are getting underway. And again, this is still anyone's game. Things have in a way stabilized. HonMonO getting ready for another tomb drop though. That's a lot of libs. We're up to 4 Liberators. The Vikings aren't going to be as useful. We don't really have anything for them to do, so eventually they're going to have to land. They can at least deal with maybe War Prism Harass. Ooh, as the drop has been spotted. The Zealot do come across the Doom drop. Krystianer warping in back at home. Does he know he cancelled Storm? Oh, okay, we're good. Okay, we have Archons being morphed in. Scan does take out the Observer. Again, a big commitment here into the main base. Jesus, that is 5 full medevacs, by the way. With Vikings, we do have the Archons coming in, but are they too late? Again, thankfully for HonMonO, no Blink Stalkers. No Blink Stalkers with this army, otherwise we could have dove on this. Oh, we try to go back in, but Krystianer, he does zone HonMonO away. Oh my god. As HonMonO is going to be trapped here in the dead space for a little bit. Archons are spreading out. Again, Archons don't have the best range. As the Archons keep this army pinned, by the way, Krystianer's pushing. Krystianer, he knows. It's like, hold up. How much of your supply is pinned here back into the top northern portion of the map? How much do you have back at home? The answer is not much. Oh god, we could end up in a base trade. And here we go, the army has arrived. Mine shot's going to be going off. And we go straight for the third base. Oh, we try to pull out. We try to break free. We get on top of the libs. The Liberators do expose themselves. Liberators are going to be going down, and we have to recall back home. So dropping into the main. Meanwhile, across the map, the third base is denied. Advax making their way into the main base. Do we have anything in position? We do not. The Archons are slow. And there it is. There's the recall. But we have Ghosts. We have the unload. Vikings land. A lot of Ghosts. A lot of EMPs are available as well. Overcharge is popped. Overcharge gets wasted. Big EMPs on the Archons. On only half of them, though. The others, they're closing the distance. And the Zealots, they come in to reinforce. It looks like Krystianer, he should have enough. He cleans up the tanks and forces back the army. At the same time, he denied the third base of his opponent. Krystianer now in an even worker count here to HonMonO. HonMonO did preserve a lot of his SCVs. I will say that. Massive Mule Hammer as well on that third. Storm is on the way. Colossus back in production. I love going back into Colossi from here because there are no more Vikings. The Viking count was reset, so suddenly Colossi are more viable. Here we go. Krystianer is moving out. Looking to try to come in from behind here. Is this the wisest choice, though? We're going to try to push in. We're committing. Oh, that's a lot of bio, a lot of EMPs. Boys are being pulled. The Zealots, they get melted here. Big storm. Oh, my God. Massive storm on the mineral line. But we can't push it. Oh, the storms. Big storm on the army as well. Do we have one more? We do not. This army is heavily overstimmed. Deep in the red. One more storm would kill everything. But we don't have one more storm. We do have a Colossus, though. HonMonO does retreat. He lost 18 SCVs. HonMonO up in army supply, but his army is so fragile and we're getting on top of it. Oh my god. Like, one Archon attack killed like five Marines and a Marauder. That was crazy. We have a Storm available. This High Templar has enough for one. Has enough for one Storm. Widowmine goes off. EMP does graze the army, does not connect with the High Templar. Behind this, Krystianer is taking a fourth base. He's backing up. Okay, we're calming things down, Bob. We're calming down. Krystianer, he backs off. He's getting his fourth base up and running. He's building up his army, rebuilding his army once again, getting back into Colossi production, incorporating more High Templar, more Storms. Scan reveals the lack of fourth at the triangular third, but HonMonO, he doesn't know that the southern base has been taken instead. Krystianer going for the center fourth is a little bit more exposed, but so far unscouted. Meanwhile, HonMonO picks up his main. He's run out of resources in the main base, even run out of gases here as well. So we lift up the main, taking it as the fourth. Now, this does mean that his fourth base is going to be more vulnerable because he doesn't have a planetary. Usually the fourth would be a planetary instead. So this is a very risky move for HonMonO to go for. But again, he wants to keep the pressure up, and you know, things are very scrappy at the moment. we don't have the resources to make another CC. So we just float it over. And here we go. HonMonO is pushing, looking at the army. He has 4 ghosts, 4 EMPs. If he can connect on those High Templar, then he can take a fight. HonMonO, he can break this. Vikings pushing forward. They do threaten those Colossi. Only for a moment though. Shield batteries do top them up. EMP on the Archons. 2 of them. Big EMP on the Zealots as well. Forces the overcharge to regenerate all those shields. But we still have 2 more EMPs available with the main army. Krystianer pushes out. Bold move to push out. And again, no planetary at this location. We do have some Widowmines though. Oh my god, massive storms! Massive storms on the army, on the Vikings as well. Oh my god, the storms, they just do not end, but at the same time, we don't have much else. We have storms, but where is the rest of the Protoss army? It's not there. The Archons are being focused down. The EMPs were too good earlier. The Viking, it's one Viking! Takes down a Colossus. That one Viking pushing forward, but the Archon does arrive. 13 SCVs went down. Krystianer coming in with some reinforcements. Barely forcing this back. The mine shot takes down the Zealots. Krystianer will retreat. The misfiring. Oh my god. That Colossus getting very adventurous. And we stim on forward. We dive on top of the Colossus. A big overextension from Krystianer. The Colossus goes down and the rest of this army is going to be cleaned up. HonMonO. He does take down the Zealots and the Archon. Down in economy, but again, Krystianer, he did overextend. Had to back off. Had to lick his wounds. And HonMonO lives. He survives. Ay, ay, ay. Meanwhile, Krystianer is taking a 5th. Does have that 5th base soon up and running. High Templar have been morphed in once again. Things going to be calming down for a moment here. HonMonO working on +3. Running out of resources at his natural now, but even if he runs out of gases and minerals here, he can just lift up his natural and take it as another base. He can still maintain himself. Still has a decent economy for 3 base saturation. Widowmines are being set up, and again, both players they're calming things down after a very chaotic fight. Both players are respecting each other. Looks like we are making another CC, so we're not going to be landing this natural at the 5th. Going to be taking an actual base, which means this can be morphed into an orbital. Sorry, a planetary. Meanwhile, we're getting into double Colossus production. How many Vikings do we have? Only 4 Vikings. Viking production has stopped, actually, for quite some time. Oh, but we're getting back into it. Making 2 of them at a time. HonMonO is checking for the gold, and we are going for a mine drop. Mine drop towards the 4th base. Do we have detection? We do have 1 observer on the right-hand side, but detection will be required to deal with these widow mines as we head towards the 4th. Mine drop comes in. Krystianer, does he react? He does react. He does pull back. Mine shots go off. Meanwhile, here at the third base, we do shut down the Widow Mine as well, forcing a recall on the Observer. And we will clean up these mines. So really nice handling of this. It was 3 Widow Mines and they only killed 2 probes. So very nicely handled here by Krystianer. Again, he's getting his 5th up and running. We have a 6th on the way. Krystianer's economy soon going to be booming here. But before that happens, HonMonO, he has arrived with an insane army. What do we have to work with? We have 6 Vikings, only 3 ghosts. Oh, not a very high ghost count, so we have very limited EMPs. That is a little bit concerning. How many Colossus? 5 Colossi. Oh, it's arguably overmaking Colossi. We have 5 of them. Mine's just going to be going off on the Zealots. We do bruise them. We do soften them up. Big mine shots once again on those Zealots. EMPs as well. Oh, does catch 2 High Templar. Very nice EMPs, but we still have some storms available. There are still some High Templar left over. Yeah, 3 of them. And there we go. We're making 4 ghosts at a time. It looks like HonMonO has now realized that he has a low ghost count, but he's getting caught out. Yeah, Blink is done. We only have 2 Stalkers, but we can get a full medevac. Very nice pick off. As Krystianer rotates around, he's going to be committing to his attack. At the same time, we have a drop heading towards the 6th base of Krystianer. Things are about to get chaotic. HonMonO, he can get a kill on this base on the mineral line, and Krystianer does he recall? Recall is not available. He's racing back home. He doesn't commit to the attack, which means this Nexus is going to go down. At least he saves the workers. The probes do evacuate, but that is still a big loss. Meanwhile, the drop, it's not done. It's going into the main. Widow Mines have been found. Zealots are in position, but only a handful of them. Overcharges pop, but we're going to be able to clean this up. And Krystianer, he's committing. He's committing across the map. Do we have a storm? Do we have an EMP? Up! Big EMP, but a storm does graze the army. Boys are being pulled. Another big storm as well, covering the SCVs and the Vikings. Mainly the Vikings. They do take the brunt of the damage. They do go down. Zealots are going ham. 35 SCVs go down, but the Colossus, they're exposed. We dive on top of the Colossi. Nova goes off. Decent connection. But Krystianer, he will lose his entire army. He does cripple the economy. HonMonO, he's down to 27 SCVs. He does not have an economy left over, but he does have an army. We gotta go. HonMonO, he's up 30 army supply. At this point, he's pretty all in, but he's staying back at home. Oh, medevac goes down. Full medevac. Like, we gotta send it. We gotta go. As I say that, that's a lot of mules. You know what? He may not have workers, but mules, Bobby, they're pretty good units. Mules are pretty good. And we're finally taking that 5th base. HonMonO can still sustain himself. But this 6th base is getting back up and running. As time goes on, Krystianer, he's rebuilding his army. He was down 30 supply earlier, now down only 20. So he's slowly closing that gap. HonMonO not really feeling too confident about moving out. There's that planetary in production. Krystianer going for a push. As we do see Krystianer trying to come in from the left-hand side for some Zealot run-bys, but alas, is going to run into the army. So once again, for like the 3rd time this game, like the game is going to settle down after a lot of aggression. Like things are going to be calming down here between our players. Krystianer taking a 7th base towards the top right. Now getting into Disruptors, which I do appreciate instead of Colossus. I do think earlier he overmade Colossi, and you can see that if you rely too much on one form of splash damage, it's not ideal. There's a reason why you go up to around 3 Colossi, then into Disruptors. Like a Viking heavy composition can shut you down. Disruptors are required, and now they're out. And EMPs, they do nothing against Disruptors, in the sense that they don't stop the Novas. They can stop Storms, but not the Disruptor. We do have a surround being set up here from Krystianer. He's trying to at least, but the Zealots are being forced back. HonMonO pushing here towards the center. Krystianer is going to be the first to max. The Zealots say engage! But the Zealots say just melt here against the 3-3 army, or the +3 attack army. Yeah, the Zealots go down. Big EMP on the Stalkers. Never goes off. 1 Nova. At least we have 2 more in the chamber. 2 more Novas. Up! Disruptor's gonna go down. We send out a couple more Novas, but at last save, 1 connects. 1 does connect, but we shut down the rest of the Disruptors. This army, though, overstimmed. HonMonO has to back off at the same time. A Zealot counterattack does get on top of the 4th. 4 SCVs go down. Drags the entire army back home to defend. Meanwhile, Krystianer trying to build up his Colossus and Disruptor count once again. Getting that 7th up and running. Ay. And again, HonMonO's army is more efficient overall. But that's also why we have to rely on some of these splash damage units like the Disruptor, like Storm. Without them, HonMonO can just stim and win. A couple of SCVs go down. Zealots are caught. A bit of an expensive counterattack, but we do get 7 workers, 8 even. Almost 9. As HonMonO does turn back around. The Zealot run by is not stopping your HonMonO trying to take another base, by the way. Both players on the cusp of maxing out. Yo, we got a Fusion Core. Let's go. Fusion Core on the way. That should be for Liberator range. Don't get too excited. Shouldn't be for BCs. Should be for Libs. As HonMonO, he has outpositioned Krystianer. We're going for another kill here on this base. Nexus is going to go down at the same time. Zealot counterattack comes in. The planetary isn't done. SCVs are going to be falling. We do catch some of these medevacs. Let's go up. Zoning back the bio army. Oh, that's going to be 14, 15 dead SCVs. Let's go up. Oh, they do connect. Decent connections with the army. It sims on forward, chasing Krystianer back. The army becoming a bit overstimmed, though. Oh my god, very overstimmed, and here come the reinforcements from behind. We get a surround. HonMonO gets forced back. These were the Zealots that were counterattacking. Speaking of, Zealots, they hit the 4th base, and HonMonO, he's falling apart. His economy has been crippled, and Krystianer has momentum. Finally, a fight goes his way. And HonMonO, he's forced all the way back home. In the retreat, he lost his ghost. He has 1 ghost left, 1 EMP remaining, a handful of Vikings, a handful of Marauders. Again, HonMonO, it was a great, he did a great job at sniping the space, but committing to the fight was not the right call. Committing to the fight there did end up losing HonMonO his army. And it looks like Krystianer is finally going to be able to get the win. This was a 30-minute game. This started with a 2-base all-in. This started with HonMonO pulling the boys like 3 times, by the way. This was a very chaotic game, very back and forth, very scrappy. But Krystianer, he lives, he survives, he has the better economy, he has the army, and he is looking to take game 1. But it's a best of 5, Papi. Plenty of games are ahead of us. Mine Shot's going to be going off. Big EMPs here. But again, there was only 1 EMP left. And we will get on top of this space. It's going to be a kill in the CC. Not a lift. A couple of workers are going down to these Widow Mines. Colossi going ham. Storm as well. Looks like we only had 1 Storm in the army. So Krystianer is going to pivot away. Rotate around, and there it is. GG gets called. HonMonO, he knows he's run out of steam. He knows he's too far behind. And Krystianer will take game number 1. Whew, GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. GG, well played, and that was a hard-fought win. A very hard-fought win there, as, again, to reiterate, it started with a 2-base all-in. It started by pulling the boys. It kept going by HonMonO landing, lifting his main base, and having some really efficient fights as well. And it was a back-and-forth game there. In the end, Krystianer does take it, but he had to fight hard for that first win. And the series continues. That was game 1 of potentially 5. It is a best of 5, and Krystianer may be 1 step closer here to winning, but again, that was not easy. And here we go. We're getting into game number 2. Ooh. Oh boy. we go. I'm catching up in the chat. Catching up, I'm catching up. Ay, ay, ay. As we are setting up here for game number 2. What's the Terran worker goal for a full macro game? 75? It kind of depends. It does kind of depend on the matchup is what I will say, and the dynamic of the game. I do know that there are some players that like overmaking SCVs. Like TY, notorious for going up to like 90 workers, but he makes a lot of workers because he knows he's going to lose some, due to like Zealot counterattacks and Zealot run-bys, for example, just so he can maintain his economy. But I think TY is like more of one of the extreme ends of things. Like he is not of the norm. As ideally, we do want 4 base saturation, not 3. 3 base saturation is 66 workers. But from here, for a late game, from here we're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hecate, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Team Hyper 1. Down in the series, but it's game 2. Plenty of games are ahead of us here. It is HonMonO. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the pink Polish Protoss player representing Team Blazer. It is Krystianer. See in the chat, 65 to 80, depending on your playstyle. Exactly, yeah. Those that are curious. I would echo that. Ooh. So we are getting into our next game. And from here, of course, we are going to be popping off. HonMonO being a little bit cheeky. So HonMonO, he actually he did divert his SCV scout to the right-hand side. He avoided the probe just for this, just for an eBay block. For those that are curious, an engineering bay block like this forces the unnatural natural. Krystianer, he's forced to expand here at the triangular base location, which means his bases are exposed. And this should be leading into a faster factory from HonMonO. And there it is, factory is on the way. We should be seeing a reactor and an add-on swap. This can lead into Hellions or Cyclones. And the goal here for HonMonO, it's not a one base all-in, he's going to be expanding. But the goal here for HonMonO is to abuse the fact that Krystianer has to defend 2 bases that are quite far apart. His goal, to kill some workers. There's that reactor, so again, add-on swap is going to be upon us. We are loading into Hecate. Now, the rush distance by ground on Hecate is longer compared to Golden Aura, so this should lead into a bit of a longer game, which is why this opener from HonMonO is a good way to get ahead economically here. Is a good way to get into the mid-game. As we should be seeing a CC here on the high ground a little bit further back. There it is, there's that CC on the way, and we should soon be seeing that add-on swap here with the factory and the racks. Behind this, we have our tech of choice. This time, Krystianer, he's going for a Twilight Council opener. Bold move. So usually when the Protoss player is forced to expand like this, they go for a Stargate opener for Phoenixes. The reasoning for Phoenixes is because if your opponent goes Hellions, it can be really hard to keep up with them because Hellions are obviously very mobile, so they can actually like dip between the bases and pull you apart. So Phoenixes are a good way to keep up mobility-wise with those Hellions. Meanwhile, it is not Hellions, it is Cyclones. Oh boy. Cyclones are on the way, a more hefty harassing force here. Adepts are going to be coming in, and we have yet to see what comes next. Now, Krystianer, he is of course aware of the reactor factory, but unaware as to what is going to be coming out until now, as the Cyclones are revealed. Cyclones are going to be revealed, and oh, the Adept is going to fall. Behind this, Blink is on the way, Stalkers are in production. Shield Battery here at the natural. The main a little bit more exposed. We should soon be seeing a Shield Battery in the main base as well. Again, it's going to be on Krystianer to try to determine and try to get a feel for where these Cyclones will attack. Will they hit that natural, or will they try to slip into the main? As here we go. It looks like the Hellions. Yeah, okay. It's going to be Hellions are coming in from the right-hand side. The Hellions will go for the main base. The Cyclones will hit the natural. It's going to be a dual-pronged attack here from HonMonO. And it's going to be on Krystianer here to keep up. So far, his Stalker's in between the bases. And where are we going first? We're waiting for another wave. Now it takes 3 Hellions to one-shot a probe, so 4 Hellions is ideal to get in and to just roast up that mineral line. Cyclones do reveal themselves a force of the drag here of the Stalkers, but here go the Hellions. Probe racing back, gonna try to wall off, try to get some SimCity going, but the Hellions take it in. They get into the middle line, the boys are being pulled, oh, and probes are going down. At the same time, the Cyclones, they do hit the third base, or the natural. They're lighting up. Oh, 16 workers, the entire mineral line, and this is too much damage. This is getting out of control. 22 workers, and in one fell swoop, HonMonO, he cripples the economy. HonMonO with double the worker count behind this, plus mules as well. And with that, Krystianer was pulled apart. This is a very difficult kind of situation to defend against, especially with Blink Stalkers like this. I don't blame Krystianer. It's a very difficult position, and now he's going for a big counterattack. Krystianer, he's all in. He has Blink. He has Stalkers. We gotta go. We do have to go. It looks like he's trying to catch these Cyclones, and it looks like he will find them. Blink is available. The Cyclones are going to be going down, and nice breaking of the lock-ons as well. He catches both Cyclones. And we gotta go. What do we have at home to defend? We have tanks. Oh, we have 2 tanks in position. Not quite siege. We have a bunker as well. We cannot break this. Not head on. Oh, Krystianer, he learns the hard way. If he has high ground vision, he can try to bypass this army and go into the main. Prism is on the way. But again, it's all or nothing for Krystianer. He's down to 16 workers. Down to 16 workers here as Krystianer, he's again going to try to go into the main base. Now, we do have 1 tank for each base. 1 tank in the main, 1 tank in the natural. Marines are in between. And here we go. We're going for the drop. We dive into the main base. We dive on top of the tank, and we should get a kill. The first tank goes down. The second tank does rally into the Stalkers. The boys are being pulled. Krystianer, he has a chance. He can make this work. But the Marines have arrived. Another reinforcing tank as well. SCVs are going down. But HonMonO, he's cleaning this up. He's getting on top of the Stalkers. Only 3 Stalkers remaining. Sorry, 4 Stalkers remaining. Krystianer, he's being forced into the corner at this point. Behind this, he's trying to recover, trying to rebuild his worker count. He's trying. Dropping to the natural, and yeah, GG gets called. Krystianer, he knows there's no coming back from this. And HonMonO ties it up 1-1. GG. GG, well played. Ooh, again, a really nasty build here. So this build from HonMonO, the opener, it's HonMonO, it looks like he's going to relog, but this opener from HonMonO has been popularized by Clem. Clem has been doing it. A lot of the other top Koreans, Byun as well. Basically, the meta has been shifting, and a lot of the top Protoss players have been starting to actually check their natural sooner, especially on smaller maps. Oceanborn is a good example. On Oceanborn, I'm sure even Krystianer does this on Oceanborn, where you need to actually get your probe onto the low ground faster and keep it there to make sure you can deny the eBay block, because on some maps it can be very difficult to defend your bases if you are spread out like that, and you have to shut down those eBay blocks before they can get going. So this is, in the new patch, this is, with the new Cyclone specifically, this is a new opener. This is a new opener in TVP that has been working its way through the meta and through the pro scene, and yeah, it is disgusting. And it is very difficult for the Protoss to defend, and the answer for the Protoss, currently at least, is just to be vigilant when it comes to denying the eBay and to cancelling it ahead of time. That's how a lot of them do respond. Oh. Otherwise, it can be just a brutal position. From here, though, we are going to be getting into game number 3. Gotta take a moment here. It looks like HonMonO does need to restart his client. Looks like some latency issues. But yeah, it looks like he just dealing with some latency issues, and hopefully will be back with us soon. And again, this could still go either way. We are tied up 1-1. Soon going to be getting into game number 3 as well. Soon to be getting into game number 3 to determine who takes a lead in this series. Now, if you're curious, we usually cast World Team League, and World Team League is actually going to be starting in like 10 or so minutes. It is starting up in 10 minutes. We will, of course, commit to finishing this finals. We're going to be finishing up SC2 Online, and once this wraps up, we are going to be going offline to reset, to change up our overlays and change up the scenes, and I'm going to be handing the keys to the stream over to Kuro, and we're going to be back with WTL. So, back to back. Right after this, bam, straight into World Team League. So, StarCraft isn't stopping. The StarCraft continues tonight for the entire night. So in case you're curious, and in case you're usually here for World Team League, we will be covering that right after this finals. So we are getting into game number 3. Our players are ready, our lobby has been set, and we are loading in to Oceanborn. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the pink Polish Protoss player representing Team Blazer. Being forced into a back-and-forth series like this, it is Krystianer. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the purple Terran player representing Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. Tying up the series. Tying up the series. Let's go. And this time, I'm sure Krystianer is going to be a lot more vigilant. When I was talking about the opener that we saw last game from HonMonO, I brought up specifically Oceanborn, just because it's even more brutal on this map because of the short rush distance by ground, and these bases are that much more exposed. So I wouldn't be surprised if Krystianer is a little bit more vigilant when it comes to checking his natural. Meanwhile, we can see that there's no SCV moving out across the map. HonMonO is going for a Rax with a single gas behind this, and we'll see what he has in store for us as HonMonO decides to fully wall off this time. And there is no eBay block. Now, Krystianer, he checks. As I mentioned before, this is a much more common map to go for the eBay block, so Krystianer, he does get here ahead of time just to make sure that everything is normal. He doesn't want to be forced into an uncomfortable position again 2 games in a row. So you can see Krystianer just being very careful about any kind of eBays. Meanwhile, across the map, it's going to be a 2-Rax opener, and Krystianer... Ooh, this was actually a little bit too close. With this probe, Krystianer, he was able to see that second... We canceled the second Rax? Papi. I was about to say that HonMonO made a mistake for throwing it down too close, but no, it was intentional. He is selling a story. He's making it look like a 1-base all-in. With that second Rax, he cancels. He's going for a CC on the high ground. Oh my god. And Krystianer, he's throwing down shield batteries. Oh my god. HonMonO using his reputation here. Not just his reputation, but also some mind games. He's going for the CC right into the factory as well. Again, just getting into an economic opener, playing standard. Krystianer, he's ready for something that is not coming. Ooh, at the same time though, we have a pylon out of the map. With this pylon, Krystianer, he will be able to counterattack, but HonMonO is checking. He's looking for proxy pylons. He checks the triangular 3rd, but he doesn't check the 4th. He doesn't know. He does not know. Now, probe's going to be going down, and that does reveal the location of this proxy. HonMonO does come across it. He will shut down this gateway. Meanwhile, behind this, we have additional gateways on the way. Oh my god, Krystianer. Okay, he should be expanding. He was going up to 3 gates though, and it was looking almost like a 4-gate all-in even. But should be expanding on the low ground. Stalkers are moving out. Meanwhile, HonMonO going to be expanding back at home. We'll be getting this up and running. And there's that expansion for Krystianer. Krystianer's going to be backing off. The aggression will subside. Again, we had a very tense moment so far. It was very tense here, seeing how Krystianer would react to what was happening, and as well as committing to this proxy location. But we're going to be calming down. Both players are going to be expanding. HonMonO going for his natural. Krystianer going for his Nexus. Blink well underway for Krystianer. Already on 3 gateways. He could throw down a 4th and go for 4-gate Blink. He's reinforcing, and HonMonO is going to be the defender. Krystianer, this isn't all in, but Krystianer is applying a lot of pressure, and once the rover finishes, he will have access to high ground vision. HonMonO has a turtle. Stalkers has arrived. Oh my god, a Dark Shrine is on the way. Krystianer doubling down. I don't think he even needed the Dark Shrine. Just even a Prism with 4 gates would have been enough, but no, he's going for the DTs as well. Picks off another SCV. Very meticulous control here from Krystianer, picking off whatever he can, minimizing his damage. Oh, but this is unfortunate. So a big reason why DTs aren't really too popular here in this matchup, not just because of scans. Scans are available, don't get me wrong, but Ravens are also very commonplace in this matchup as well, especially in a standard game. Stalker does get picked off, but Ravens are on the way. Disable was being researched for a time, but it looks like we're going for an add-on swap instead. Only getting the single Raven. We'll have that for some auto-turret harass or to shut down the observer. That's typically why it's made as well, to have with the main army to shut down observers that are typically getting eyes on the production, on the army. Prism is moving out, and for auto-turret harass as well. And for their spells in general with the main army, it adds quite a lot of value. Here come the Dark Templar though, and we are going straight for the main base. There is still potential for damage. There is potential, but we'll see how HonMonO does react. We have 1 DT waddling into the natural base. We have 2 more here into the main, but there is the Raven in position. And no damage is done. Meanwhile, here at the natural, this SCV is going, sorry, this DT is going ham. 3 worker kills, we're gonna get a 4th. So we do gain some value here. We also saved 2 Dark Templar. I believe we only lost 1. No, didn't lose any actually. Very nicely done here. So Krystianer, he gets 6 SCV kills and he keeps all of his Archons alive. Sorry, all of his Dark Templar alive, and now he can morph them into Archons. So not too bad. Despite the Raven, damage was done. And now from here, Krystianer, he can go for some Archon harass. He's looking for a drop into the main base. Archons, they can have their way with Marines or SCVs. So you have to be careful. And just using the shields as a resource, getting some damage done. Krystianer does back up. Behind this, he's getting a star base on location. He's successfully containing his opponent to 2 bases, so Krystianer, he's freely expanding. Scan does reveal that. HonMonO, he sees, he knows, he is aware. But the Archon drop has not completed, has not finished. So we get another 2 SCVs. Not too bad. Another 2 workers go down. The Archons do make it out. Behind this, we're getting into charge. So charge the Archon, Blink Stalkers, just a gateway heavy composition from Krystianer. The downside here is that he doesn't have any splash damage or any consistent splash damage like Colossus, Storm, Disruptors. He's relying on, again, a purely gateway composition, which can be risky. You do need a good economy to sustain. Very careful micro there. One of those Archons almost went down. Again, just trying to trade as best we can without losing anything. You can see how low this Archon goes. Oh my god. Barely did make it out. Meanwhile, here comes the push from HonMonO. Getting up to 3 Raxes here. A bit of a 3-1-1 setup, which is pretty standard on 2 bases. And we should be taking a 3rd on location. Gateway is going to be depowered. See Krystianer trying to pick up a couple of extra units here. Gets a Marine. Again, good blinks. Preserves his Stalkers. HonMonO, do we commit to a 2-base all-in, or do we throw down a 3rd? As Krystianer, he dies on the army. The tanks are on siege! First tank goes down. A second tank as well. A couple of tank shots going to be going off, but the tank out... Oh, actually, we save 1! Krystianer, he is being forced back. HonMonO, he is committing. Did lose 2 of his tanks, but he's going to be able to pick off a couple more of these units in the retreat. He wants that Archon, will not get it. But here it is, it's a 2-base all-in. The boys are being pulled. I was waiting for the 3rd TC, but we're not going to get it. It's HonMonO we're talking about, and here in TVP, 2-base all-ins, it's his speciality. And what do we have at home to defend? We have a shield battery, an overcharge, a couple more Archons on the way. That 1 tank, big anti-armor missile does connect. Does connect with the army. HonMonO forcing his way in between the bases, gets on top of the shield battery. No more overcharge available. Another anti-armor missile as well. We can see Krystianer is trying to go in for a surround, trying to catch some of these reinforcements, but he cannot. He's being pulled apart. And HonMonO may just have too much. Getting on top of the third base. Krystianer, though, the 360 surround, he's getting ready for it. A little bit mistimed, though. Archons are going down. He wants that tank. He will not get it. The pickup, the juggling. He saves the tank. That tank barely is kept alive. We're going to get a kill on the third base. And more SCVs have arrived. We keep pulling the boys, Bobby. We need them. Second tank arrives as well. Krystianer is just a numbers game at this point. He just doesn't have enough. It's going to be his final stand here. Diving on the tanks. But alas, the Marines, they stim on forward. GG gets called. HonMonO breaks through, and HonMonO takes a 2-1 lead in this series. GG. GG, well played. Oh, again, Krystianer, he was doing well for himself, containing his opponents. But if you remember, his natural base was delayed. He was working on a third. He had no splash damage, no Colossus, no Disruptors, no Storm. Because he was reliant on the Gateway Army, it takes a while to build up. You do need a stable economy to get your Warpins going, to be able to build up your army, and Krystianer was caught off guard. Was caught off guard by the intensity of the push of the all-in. And things very quickly swung in favor of HonMonO. On top of that, big anti-armor missiles, right? The anti-armor missiles of HonMonO were so on point, just keeping back the army, softening up the Zealots and the Archons as well. Fun fact. Krystianer, especially, remember, Krystianer, he got faked out thinking that it was going to be an all-in, and he just said in the in-game lobby, he's like, I'm just going to ignore your Raxes. Like, what just happened? He was bamboozled by the opener, which is why, again, Krystianer's economy was delayed. Winding it back, remember, he was faked out and he didn't realize he was up against an economic opener. Did hurt him. And here we go, we're getting into our next game. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Solaris, we have our pink Polish Protoss player representing Team Blazer. It is Krystianer. And he has to fight back here and now. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Team Hyper 1. One game away from becoming this week's champion, or this tournament's champion, for SC2 Online Community Open number 142. It is HonMonO. We go. Ooh. Here we go. But yeah, just some really sick mind games at the start of that last game. And now, where will this take us? How will this end? Will this end here and now? Do we get an ace match? Personally, I would love a game 5. I would love to see a game 5 between these two. I think we all would. I think regardless of how this goes and of how this series has been progressing, entertaining games. That's why we love HonMonO. That's why he's HonMonO, papi. You know what? Because whether he succeeds or fails, entertainment is what he brings to the people. That's what it's all about. He's like the Terran Miyamika. We do kind of associate the two at times. And fun fact, speaking of him being the Terran Miyamika, if you're familiar with Miyamika, you'd know what that means. Fun fact, there is a 2v2 tournament happening in a couple of hours. I mentioned before that there is an OSC marathon going on, back-to-back tournaments, and there's going to be a 2v2 event later on. And Miyamika reached out to HonMonO, and they will both be teammates in the 2v2 tournament. I think it's going to be HonMonO and Miyamika versus, it's a European team. I think it's Baby Marine and, let me just double check. It's going to be Baby Marine and Forjumi. Baby Marine and Forjumi. Versus HonMonO and Miyamika. And as a bit of a teaser, both HonMonO and Miyamika, they were theorizing different cheeses and different all-ins that they could do in 2v2s. So that's something to look forward to. I feel like brains are gonna be melting when Miyamika and HonMonO join forces in 2v2. It's gonna be disgusting. Regardless, we're getting into this, and it's going to be a Twilight Council opener here from Krystianer. He did confirm the CC on the low ground, so he's aware of the more economic opener here from his opponent. Krystianer, he's aware of the standard play that's coming across the map. It's going to be a CC on the low ground. Behind this, we do have our factory done. Starport is on the way. A 1-1-1 here from HonMonO. And we should be going for an add-on swap. I'm curious if we go for the add-on swap or if we start up tank production early on. And there it is. There's the add-on swap. This could be for a Raven again to start things off. But actually, this could even be for a Banshee opener instead, which is not unheard of in TVP. Here we go. Behind this, it's a I thought it was going to be Blink. I took it for granted, Papi. We are not going Blink. We're going for a Dark Shrine opener here from Krystianer. And this is unfortunate because HonMonO did go for the add-on swap, and we are researching. Oh, okay. We're researching Interference Matrix to go into eventually, I imagine, a Raven. But we're starting things off with a Mind Drop. Mind Drop is on the horizon here for HonMonO. Behind this, Krystianer opening up with Dark Templar. Again, very uncommon in this matchup. A very risky move here from Krystianer. We'll see if it pays off. Again, even if detection is available, these can still deal damage. And I believe this is going to hit first. It's going to be close. Raven is on the way. Mind Drop is moving out. Mind Drop is spotted by this Adept. So Krystianer, he knows to get ready in the main base. He knows to be aware of, pulling in time and reacting to this mine. Meanwhile, here we go. Dark Templar in production. Raven still on the way. Damage is going to be done here, but how much is the question? We have one Dark Templar waddling in towards that natural. DT in between the bases as well. Raven does reveal itself. One DT goes down. Oh, we're going to get a couple of SCVs. 3 workers do fall. Oh, did I say 3? I meant to say 6. And we're going to get a 7th. 7 SCV. And we're going to get an 8th. And we delay the eBay as well. Good damage here. Meanwhile, across the map, we had Adepts in position. The Widowmine does not get any damage. 1 probe went down, and I believe that was the scouting probe. It could have been a probe from the Widowmine, but regardless, the Mind Drop is cleaned up. And we get 8 worker kills for 1 Dark Templar. And from here, we transition once again into an Archon drop. Behind this, Krystianer going straight for a 3rd. This time, Krystianer has a much stronger economy. Remember, last game, Krystianer was stuck on 1 base, and he had an awkward transition. This time, a much better economy here. He's got 50 probes compared to the 32 SCVs of HonMonO. And he's not done. He's already killed 8 SCVs and he wants more. The Archon drop into the main. There are now 2 Ravens here with the army. We're going for the Marines. We get 2 Marines already. Big disable on the War Prism though. We may have another disable available. Auto targets right now. We clean up the Marines. We get 1 Archon. Oof. 1 Archon for how many Marines? For 10 Marines, by the way. That's not a bad trade. It was gas for minerals, though. I'm sure Krystianer, he would have liked to have kept that Archon alive, so maybe worth it here for HonMonO. It did also cost HonMonO a lot of energy to get the disable going and the auto turret as well, but, energy can be used and we're going to be able to regenerate. Meanwhile, Krystianer rotating around, looking for some more damage. Again, his economy this time is booming. He's going to be able to get into a much higher gateway count, a much more stable production. Archon arrives, shaving off some more Marines. Getting another 2. Zal's getting ready for a counterattack. And the question becomes, is this going to be another 2-base all-in from HonMonO? Will this be another 2-base all-in from our Terran player? Most likely, but we'll see. Vikings are in production to deal with the Prism. Krystianer establishing his 3rd. We have a Templar Archives on the way for Storm. So we are able to ferry that Archon the hell out of there. Prism does escape. And we are getting up to 3 tanks at this point. Going for a bit of an add-on swap to go into Widowmines, I imagine. Widowmines are going to be on the way. There comes our first drop getting across the map. So HonMonO are going to be chilling here on 2 bases, waiting for the rest of his upgrades to kick in. Main drop moves out. At the same time, we force out a stim. The Prism! No! But we do leave it idle. Oh my god. Very close there. Using the speed zone to get the hell out of there. As the Prism does zoom back home. Behind this, Storm is on the way. Blink as well. Again, Krystianer with a very stable 3-base economy. Getting up to Storm, +1, Blink. All things Protoss. Meanwhile, HonMonO is still no third TC. He is on 5 Raxes. He's got a 5-1-1 setup here on 2 bases. The longer this goes on, the more likely it looks like it's going to be a boy pool. The more likely it looks like it's going to be a 2-base all-in from HonMonO. As, yep, there we go. We're pulling the boys. It's HonMonO. It's what we do. It's on brand. The Zell does confirm this, by the way. We do get eyes on the all-in. Krystianer is getting ready back at home. We have a shield battery here at the natural. We have a shield battery. Sorry, we have a cannon at the third. No shield battery, though, which is a little bit concerning. He's getting a 4th base. Maybe being a little bit too greedy. Storm is done. High Templar are in the War Prism. They're back at home as well. A couple of good storms is all we need. We got a big anti-armor missile, and Krystianer has to back off. Does Storm the tank? Do we have more storms available, though, as we do force in a couple of Archons? Show us the storms. Oh, they're going to be okay, but they do miss the main bulk of the army. But here we go. We collapse on this. We get on top of the tanks. Big storm here on the bio. And massive storms as well. And it looks like Krystianer, he's going to clean this up. He collapses on the army. And we are going to the ace match. GG gets called. Krystianer ties it up. Get a much stronger game here from Krystianer. Being a little more economic. Being a little more stable. He even got away with investing into a 4th base. Getting up to 3-base economy, and yeah, this time had a much cleaner hold here from our Polish Protoss player. Oh, and HonMonO got to go back to the drawing board here. Going for a straight up 2-base all-in. Not gonna work. Not gonna work this time here against Krystianer. And now we're getting ready for the ace match. Getting ready for game number 5. Here we go. And this is it. It all ends here in Game 5. The final game of the tournament. The final game of this broadcast. And it's going to be on... it's going to be on Hecate. But I'm pretty sure we already played on Hecate. Yeah. I was like, that's why I stopped myself. As before I said the map name, I was like, that's not quite right. Going to be remaking the lobby. All good. We're going to be remaking... Here we go. It looks like Game 5 is going to be on hard lead. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Hard lead, very short rush distance by ground. All-ins are favored on hard lead just because you can be that much more assertive and aggressive on that map. Oh boy. So I wonder if HonMonO is going to embrace that. I wonder if Krystianer tries to turn the tables on HonMonO as well. I am curious. See how Krystianer approaches this. If he wants to try to be in the driver's seat, does he try to put his opponents on the back foot instead? I'm ready for it. Catch him with the shot. HonMonO and Mia. Now, that's a whole lot of cheese in one team. It is, Path. I can already see the Marines circling, but let's go. Can ally units use your Nidus? No, I believe they cannot. Not in 2v2s. I'm not mistaken, but here we go. We're getting into the ace match. We're getting into game number 5, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of hard lead, we have the pink Polish Protoss player representing Team Blazer, tying up the series 2-2, forcing the ace match. It is Krystianer. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. Hello there. Workers do pass by each other. We have his opponent representing Team Hyper 1, the South Korean Terran player, the cheesiest Terran in all of South Korea, living in the land of Japan. It is HonMonO. Now, the SCV did go the long way around, hugging the left-hand side of the map. It was spotted by the probe. I hope that Krystianer did take note of this SCV, because this SCV is looking very suspect. Probe does get into the main base, being a little bit annoying. This time is not denied entry into said main. We are going for a single gas geyser behind this, and there it is. It is going to be a 2-Rax. We have 1 Rax back at home. We have the other Rax proxied across the map. 2-Rax Reaper should be the build of choice here for HonMonO. And with this could escalate very quickly. I'm also pretty sure that with the completion of this second Rax, the SCV is going to be moving on forward, and we can throw down a bunker here on the low ground. We can just add a little bit more flair here to this aggression. As oh my god. Okay, we're good. For a moment there, I thought I saw a 3rd Rax. I'm seeing things, Fabi. I'm seeing things. I did see 2 Raxes in production, and I thought 1 had already finished, so we're good, we're good. Just 2 Raxes. Oh, wait. Marine? Are we going for Marauders? We are! Okay. It is not 2-Rax Reaper. We're making a Marine back at home, and we're going for a Reactor across the map, and Marauders are on the horizon. Proxy Marauders here is definitely a viable cheese or viable opener. In a TVP, Marauders, they can just have their way with any kind of gateway units, whether it's a Stalker, an Adept, a Sentry. Marauders, they can get out of control. Concussive Shell is on the way, and we will be banking up a couple of Marauders here across the map. Krystianer still unawares. Sending out another probe. A couple of boys are on the way to help buffer and help support this Marauder. So very committed here from HonMonO. Marines are rallying across the map, and it's go time. And Krystianer is still in the dark. He's going for a robo opener here on the low ground. No shield battery. The push has been scouted. He knows. He knows. Shield battery in the main base. Yeah, I don't think we can hold him to the natural. I think the natural is going to be forfeit at this point. We need to defend the main. 2 shield batteries on the way and an overcharge as well. We need time. We force a cancel on the robo. HonMonO killing this natural base is not going to be good enough. Does get a kill on the pylon at least. Now he's going for the main. Going for the main base. Adepts are on the high ground. Shield battery is still a couple of seconds away. Another bunker in production as we leapfrog forward. Boys are being pulled. The shield battery does finish. Shield battery finishes up just in time. The SCV goes down. So far, good kiting here from HonMonO. Preserving those Marauders. The bunker looks like it will not finish though. Plenty of Adepts. Yeah, we force a cancel. And HonMonO is forced out of the main base. Krystianer has to be very careful to be caught out. Again, if he does get too close, then the Marauders will get some hits in and they will kill these Adepts. And it's going to be a kill on this Nexus. HonMonO back at home, transitioning into the factory. Bunker is done, and HonMonO even turning around with his Marauders, chasing these Adepts. He leaves the bunker behind it, knowing that it's going to be a kill on this Nexus. The Marauders, they catch an Adept. The other 2 get across the map. We're trying to look for some economic damage, but we have a full wall off these Adepts. They can't really do much. And this base should die. We even have the SCVs are getting involved. They're drilling the Nexus. Nexus will go down. Across the map. The Adepts, they don't do anything. They can't do anything. We have a CC on the way, so again, HonMonO, he's transitioning. Second bunker in production. So the goal now becomes HonMonO. He wants to contain. He wants to build bunkers, build a wall of bunkers, contain his opponent here on one base while HonMonO expands. And Starport on the way. CC as well to take his natural. HonMonO looking to get ahead economically to transition. Meanwhile, Krystianer doubles down. 2 gateways and a War Prism. Krystianer, he wants to not just break free from the contain, but counterattack. Krystianer, he wants to break free. And with Immortals, he can chew through these bunkers, but the Marauders will make things awkward. It's going to be tough here. So, we go for the salvage. HonMonO, he just evacuates. He gives up on this position. Doesn't feel too confident about taking the fight here. He's racing back home. Meanwhile, Krystianer is pushing. Elevating his units to low ground. Krystianer, he doesn't know that his opponent isn't here anymore. He doesn't know that HonMonO is racing back home. So this is going to be a tough one here. It's Krystianer. He shouldn't get caught out. There's no stim on these Marines. They're vanilla, so they do spot each other. Good force field. Oh my god, we do catch some of these Marauders. Good juggling as well, keeping those sentries alive. 2 Marauders go down. Big pick off. Very nicely done. Bearing in mind, there's only 2 Marauders left in the main. We have high ground vision with that prism. We should be able to take down the depot. depot is going to fall. And oh, we're going to get the second as well. This tank a little bit too far back. Not covering the ramp. Second tank has arrived. We're trying to get the repair on the depot. It looks like we should get a kill. Up. We get the force field. Oh, we catch the army. No, shall we catch the Marines and the Marauders? Big overextension here from HonMonO. Very nicely done. We did lose a sentry, unfortunately. One sentry did go down, but we did catch a big chunk of units. Nice moves there from Krystianer, just baiting the army onto the low ground or onto the ramp. CC is soon to be taken. Krystianer expanding back at home. Catches another Marauder with another force field. Tanks will force this back, but Krystianer, he's been trading well. He has been trading very well. Again, looking at this, it was 1 sentry for 3 Marauders and 8 Marines in total. Did lose the depths earlier, but that's fine. Krystianer, oh, he has to be careful with the tank shot. Ooh. Almost takes down the sentry. Hallucination comes in, gets eyes on the production. We do get eyes on the next racks. They get a 3-1-1 setup here on 2 bases. As we're actually going to be committing. Oh my god, we do get a kill in the bunker. Disable on that Immortal though. HonMonO fighting back with that Raven. Krystianer has to be very careful. I love the hallucination. The goal here is to tank the tank shots. And here we go. Krystianer, he's committing. We want to break this position, break the tank. One of the tanks is unsieged. We get a kill onto that bunker. And we're working our way forward, trying to get on top of the tanks. Good force field, but alas, Krystianer, he's being forced back. He's running out of his zealots, running out of his gateway army. But he is out of range of the tank, just barely. Oh. And can he get a kill? CC getting very low. And we do dive on top of the tank. Now 2 tanks left on the high ground. Good target firing on the Immortals. Oh, it's going to be a tough fight. The Stalkers, they're going down. 1 Stalker left. That was a brutal trade, but we do maintain our Immortal count. We killed 16 SCVs. And HonMonO is down to a single tank. He's running out of units. And Krystianer knows that the wall is not up and running. We can camp these depots once again. Krystianer is snowballing out of control. He's containing HonMonO to 1 base. How does it feel? Krystianer getting his revenge. He takes his own natural, denies the natural of his opponent. Again, he may have lost some Stalkers earlier, but it's all about maintaining that Immortal count. A big tank shot. Oh, let's go off. Just have to be careful. HonMonO still stuck on his 1 base. For a bit of an add-on swap. Krystianer behind this is going to be taking up an Epsay thread in his shade. We shouldn't be committing though. And behind this, additional gateways, we have a Temple Archives, Charge Lots, and Archons are going to be the composition of choice for Krystianer. And from here, we even see the 3rd base being taken as well by Krystianer. He's just getting further ahead. He has the better economy, soon to be up in bases, up in tech, with Storm in production as well. Krystianer looking comfortable, and it's going to be on HonMonO to punish him. And at this point, it's got to be a 2-base all-in. The problem is that we just don't really have too much of an economy to begin with. He lost 16 SCVs earlier. So he barely has 2-base saturation. He barely has SCVs to pull. That's the problem. How do you pull the boys without any boys? Aye, aye, aye. First world Terran problems. Smooch, Bobby, smooch. Here we go. He's going to be going for a double drop here towards the right-hand side. Still just trying to build up his SCV count here. Krystianer going to be stuck at home. Again, doesn't have the most mobile army. I believe, yeah, it doesn't have Blink. Doesn't have Blink, so we'll see what this can get done. Stim has completed combat shields as well. We're going for a double drop towards the main. Towards that main base. Krystianer just trying to set himself up here, moving out once again. Storm is done this time. And that's a lot of High Templar. We got 2 High Templar in the Prism, 2 High Templar on the ground. As we move out, HonMonO, he's going to try to cause some chaos here. Maybe even force a recall. Here comes that drop. And do we have a warping available? There we go. We recall the army back home. Only some of it, though. And Krystianer, he's still committing. Still committing to his push. It looks like he's going to keep some units back at home to defend. But what does HonMonO have? What's our setup looking like? No bunkers. He has 3 tanks. Pretty good setup. Pretty good defensive line here of tanks. So I'll say charge on forward. A little bit premature, but here come the storms. They do connect here on the Marauders, on the Marines. 1 tank goes down. We have high ground vision. We're focusing down the 2nd tank and the 3rd tank as well. And every single tank falls. We do have some boys, though. They're trying to get us around on that Immortal. The Prism. Prism is going to go down. We take down an Immortal as well. Meanwhile, across the map, the double drop is going ham. We take down a good amount of workers. Auto charge harass here at the 3rd base. Double drop into the main. Production is being depowered. And HonMonO, he's forcing back the army. Things are getting really crazy. Does force back the army. We're going for a kill of the Nexus in the main. HonMonO, he may have lost 20 SCVs, but he kills 50 workers across the map. And the base as well. And he is depowering everything. Only 3 gateways left. And now none. We have some Zealots coming in, but the SimCity, the choke point. The Zealots, they cannot engage. Not on their own. Templar Archive is going to go down as well. No more High Templar. We get the Forge. This double drop is keeping HonMonO in this. Maybe even winning him the game. Krystianer, he's down to 2 bases. Down to 32 workers. Still has a decent economy, but his production is in shambles. Has to repower everything. Has to rebuild. And back at home, HonMonO, he's got some ghosts. Rush into a ghost academy. Got a couple of ghosts for EMPs. Repairing up those medevacs. As we are retreating back home. HonMonO, he does have a supply lead. He does have the army supply lead, more importantly. And we're going for a split push. Now, this double drop hasn't been spotted by the Zealot. So Krystianer should be getting ready. But there's also a double drop on the left-hand side. Can Krystianer split up his army? Can he defend both bases at once? I'm not sure if he can. He can defend his 3rd 100%, especially with these storms, but his main is vulnerable. His main only has Zealots. Here we go. We push on forward. We do spot the army, but HonMonO, he commits into the main. Zealots say, come in. Oh, we do get a bit of a surround. We do force this back. Gateways are depowered, but HonMonO not done. Being so annoying with these drops. Going for the main base, going for the gateway. And amidst all this chaos, I need to give the edge to HonMonO at least a little bit. His economy still is in shambles. Like, he's on a 1 base economy, essentially. The High Templar! He gets 2! 2 High Templar go down. Krystianer, he wasn't looking. Aye. Big pickoffs here by HonMonO, and this is what he needs. Every now and then, if he picks off a High Templar here and there, an Archon, an Immortal. Krystianer, he can't replace them. Remember, he lost his Templar Archives. Oh, he rebuilt it. It's rebuilt here at the natural. But here comes the army, and a very hefty army at that. Even with storms, this may be too much. And we may not even have storms. We have that ghost for the EMP. Krystianer, he's in a lot of trouble. Here we go. We have 4 High Templar. 4 storms available. And here comes the army of HonMonO, and this may just be too much. No shield battery, no overcharge here at the natural. Big storm. Oh my god, some very juicy storms, and we have more where that came from. Another storm here on the army. We do force the pickup. That was maybe the best fight that Krystianer could have hoped for. He was able to swallow up the army, surround it, storm the Marines as well. Meanwhile, HonMonO, he picks up his main, he lands it as his 3rd. His economy is still looking good. It's looking okay. It's okay. And okay is all it needs to be, but here we go. Krystianer going for a counterattack. Once again, a Doom drop into the main. Base trade. It's time for a base trade. HonMonO shuts down the main base. Meanwhile, Krystianer, he does come across the mineral line. There are some Marauders back at home, though. Krystianer turning back around. He denies the 3rd, and he races back home. Do we have a storm? We do not. HonMonO, though, he backs off. Takes down a lot of gateways. Does retreat. No! A stray Immortal! Get out of here! The Immortal gets caught out. Big pickoff. Does get an Immortal. Krystianer trying to find the drop. But he's going to get surrounded. Who's going to surround who? That's the real question. Big EMP here on the Archon, on the Zealots, and this army is being cleaned up. From behind, though, we have reinforcements from both sides. But Krystianer doesn't have enough. He gets cleaned up, loses Zealots, loses an Archon. Big losses there for Krystianer. Once again, taking a hit to his supply. He has a Colossus. No extended thermal lance, no range, but he has one Colossus available. Second Colossus is on the way. HonMonO, as he commits to his push, we do have a Zealot run by being set up here by Krystianer, going for the third base. Probes are getting caught out. They're trying to set up a defensive line here, but the gateways are going down. Oof. Gateways are falling. Zealots get across the map in the natural and the third base. And HonMonO does not have much to defend back at home, but he finds the third. Yeah, this Nexus is going to go down, so both players are going to be hurting. These Zealots, though, are doing a lot of damage. A lot of SCVs are going down. We get a kill on this Nexus, but that's 12 dead workers across the map. Does HonMonO find the probes? Does HonMonO find the... he doesn't find the workers. Suck it in. The probes, they do hug the wall. They do survive. HonMonO down to 15 SCVs. Plus mules, though. Krystianer ahead of the economy, but HonMonO, he has been trading better. He has been trading more efficiently, but now we're up to 3 Colossi. That's got to be too much. That's a lot of Marauders, though. Look at... Jesus, that is almost as many Marauders as Marines. We can close the distance. We can dive on top of this army. Krystianer, he is lacking a buffer. He needs units here to defend these high-tech units of Krystianer. The Colossi, the High Templar. He's got 2 Zealots. Here we go. HonMonO pushing forward. Here we go. We have a decent storm zoning back the army. Krystianer trying to get another base up and running. We have another Colossus coming in. Oh, a bit of an overextension. This Colossus on the right-hand side is going to be going down. Big storms, though. Massive storms on the army. The Marauders, they're chewing their way through, though. They stim forward. The Marauders, can they get on top of the Colossus? They will. Every single Colossus is going to be going down. We get 1, we get 2, we get all 3. All 4 Colossi will fall. Big pickoffs. Very efficient trading from HonMonO, but has he run out of steam? Because again, HonMonO, he doesn't have a lot of workers. He's muling his heart out here on these 2 CCs, on these 2 orbitals. He cleans up all the Colossi. So many High Templar. Again, Colossi on their own are so vulnerable. They can do a lot of damage, but they cannot protect themselves, as we saw. Like, a group of Marauders and a Dream is all you need. Not even, just some Marauders. And that was an expensive loss. That was a very expensive loss here from Krystianer. But he does get this base up and running. He does get his 4th. Or I guess technically his 3rd, because there's no base here. So his 3rd. And now he's got his 4th on the way. So he does have a better economy. He's on how many gateways? Oh, 6 gates. Not too many gateways here to warp in. He's got 1 Colossus. It's rallied across the map. Zealot Runway comes in. Gets a couple of workers. But not too much. Only 3 SCVs. This Colossus is... I'm worried for it. Come back to a shield battery, Poppy. Come back. As this is still anyone's game. Another Zealot run by coming in, but HonMonO not too far away. He can rotate back around. Yeah, the Zealots take out 4 SCVs, then get cleaned up. Again, Krystianer being a little bit wasteful with these Zealots here. Every unit counts. And as we saw in that previous fight, like, Zealots, they have value. Like, Zealots are necessary in main armies. Or gateway units in general. We need something to support the Colossi. Oh.
Game paused.
We're getting a pause, Papi. We're getting a pause. We're calming down. Krystianer, it looks like Uber Eats, knocking on the door. We're getting our food. Okay, we're good. We're coming back in.
Resumed.
Thankfully, nothing too intense was happening. 4th base getting up and running here for Krystianer. Zealot run by being set up. HonMonO, though, always in position here. He's going to force this back. 3rd CC is on the way. HonMonO! He's making a base. He's making a 3rd. Hon macro confirmed. He's going to be taking a 3rd here. He's macroing up. He's looking to stabilize his economy. But what I will say is that the longer this goes on, I feel like the better it is for Krystianer. Like, currently, HonMonO has the bigger army. He has the higher army supply. He could potentially kill Krystianer here and now. The longer this goes on, we get more zealots, more reinforcements, a better, like, another base up and running here for Krystianer. His economy is going to get out of control. Krystianer is up to 70 workers. 4 base saturation. This is something that cannot go unpunished. HonMonO's on the timer. At this point, HonMonO's on the timer. Zealot Runback comes back in once again, this time getting damage done. We got 4 more SCVs, and this time, I want to say that Krystianer, he can afford to throw away some zealots. He has the economy for it. He has the mineral income to throw away some zealots and to kill 5 SCVs. This is hurting more. This is hurting HonMonO more than it's hurting Krystianer. But HonMonO still has the army. How many ghosts? 3 ghosts. 3 ghosts here available. We got Marauders. We got Widow Mines. Aye, aye, aye. At the same time, we're making 2 Colossus at a time. Usually we stop at 3. We are getting up to 6 Colossi. Aye, aye, aye. That's a lot of splash damage. That's a lot of Colossus. No, typically we would like to see some disruptors, and there we go. We have a couple of disruptors on the way, thankfully. And here we go. The boys are being pulled. The 3rd base was just for show? Question mark? We made the 3rd, but we're pulling the boys anyway. And here we go. It's all or nothing. HonMonO going all in. Comparable army supply. Zealots are coming in, but there's nothing to kill. There's nothing for the Zealots to do. It's all about the storms. So far, 2 good storms here on the army. No case storm on the right-hand side, catching a couple of lings. Sorry, a couple of marines. The army being forced back. 24 SCVs go down. One way or another, the game will end here and now. Good EMPs. Archons are falling. These Colossi looking exposed. We're going for the dive. We're diving on the Colossi. Can we pull it off? We barely cannot. The lasers. So many Colossi. They protect themselves at this point. 6 Colossi stand strong. GG gets called. And Krystianer takes the series 3-2. He is going to be this edition's SC2 Online Community Open 142 champion. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. That went the distance, Papi. That went the distance. GG. Congratulations to Krystianer. That was a wild series. That was intense. That was very back and forth. At no moment could you really take a moment to breathe, really, because that was just wild what they did to each other. That was crazy. It was beautiful. It was TVP. It was StarCraft. Congratulations to Krystianer. A big shout out to HonMonO though, because he made this finals what it is here. The wild nature of HonMonO provided for some very chaotic games, and Krystianer, he was willing to go, he was able to go toe to toe with him when the distance went to the ace match, and GG. GG, well played. And again, shout out to not just HonMonO, but to the top 8 players here. Top 8 players do get paid out, and they all do deserve it here. GG. All deserving of that payout. And with that, that wraps up our first broadcast here of the night of the 24-hour OSC Marathon. GG, well played. What did I just say? Well, for the next 24 hours, starting from the beginning of this tournament, OSC are going to be running events back to back to back to back, events back and forth here. And we're going to be handing over to some of these other casters as well. I believe Kozan, who I saw in the chat, is going to be getting involved. Dave Testa, Chicken Man, Just Jordan, and I think a couple of others as well. So plenty of coverage, plenty of casters, plenty of tournaments, plenty of players, plenty of StarCraft. It's amazing. It is beautiful. This was the first of many. We won't be continuing with the OSC events. I mentioned before, we're running a little bit late. WTL started 40 minutes ago, so World Team League is currently underway, and we are going to be casting that here on the channel. So if you want some more StarCraft, we aren't done. Neither is OSC. So you know what? Open up some tabs, open up some windows, check out the other events that are going to be ongoing for OSC as well, because yeah, there's plenty of StarCraft going on. We're going to be covering WTL, and up next for OSC is going to be the 2v2 Elite Tournament. I did tease it earlier. I teased it. Remember, I said Miyamika reached out to HonMonO and they made a pact. They have joined forces. They're playing in a 2v2 tournament. I'm going to post it in the chat just so you guys can see for yourselves. And yeah, it's going to be Miyamika and HonMonO up against, Firefly and Cyan. We have Demi, Night Phoenix, Krystianer. Krystianer's going to be playing as well. He's playing with Trifax. For Jumi, Baby Marine, Fighting Frog Fiant, Young Yakov, Milky Cow, Gref Azura. So some pretty big names there. Going to be duking it out in a 2v2 tournament. So make sure you check it out. Make sure you enjoy. I think that's being covered by Kozan. I'm not entirely certain who's covering that tournament. But yeah, it is going to be Kozan, so check that out. Kozan, he's an amazing caster, he's a great guy, lovely caster, lovely person, so check that out. He's going to be covering that in 20 minutes. Meanwhile, we gotta go and get ready for WTL. Also, as a quick reminder, if you enjoyed this tournament, if you want more OSC events, if you want to support the OSC circuit, !Matcherino. !Matcherino in the chat. !Matcherino in the chat if you guys want to support this tournament yourselves, because there it is. Un momento here as I switch our scenes over. There we go. There is a Matcherino page where you can, of course, help fund the OSC World Championships. At the end of the year, there's going to be a championship for all of the online events, basically. Players have been accumulating points over the course of the year. It's basically like the World Championship for, like, IM Katowice, but for the online tournament scene, essentially. For tournaments like this, you know, where players have been getting points throughout the entire year, and they're going to be seeded and invited into the World Championship. And if you follow the Matcherino page, you can, of course, support it monetarily. There are also some things that you can purchase, so you can get your money's worth. There are OSC hoodies, there's OSC Elite membership. You can even sponsor a tournament. It says here, for 75 USD, you can run an event, and OSC will name the event after you. So we can have, like, who's in the chat? We can have, like, the Kozan Open, or we can have, like, the Psycons Cup. We can have the Jadolf Derby. The RVS Soldier Extravaganza, the Easy Phil Tussle, what have you. You know, you can, if you want to have your own event in StarCraft, you can have it there. We can host it, we can organize it, we can get it going. So, you know, there's a lot that you can do. There's a lot that we offer on the Matcherino page, or you can just donate. You can just donate without, like, getting any of this stuff if you really want to. Like, it's up to you how you want to support. Otherwise, follow OSC on Twitter, Facebook, Twitter, social media. They do host many events over the years. You can even see here some of the previous world champions for OSC. Pig was the champion in 2013. We had Gumiho in 2014, Solar in 2015, Bjorn in 2016, Neeb in 2017, and so on. Even Max Pax and many others. I think Solar's won like 2 or 3 times, so he's got like multiple like pictures. But yeah, Matcherino, check him out. Good stuff, good events, StarCraft. There you go. With that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. We appreciate it. We appreciate all of it. When it comes to Kozan, one moment, I'm gonna link his Twitch channel in the chat. Just because we're gonna be going live right after this, but you can check out Kozan's stream here. He isn't live yet, but you know what? Follow him. The Bad Micro Championship. You're an animal. It's on Matchery. The Fooble Palooza. But yeah, you can see it in the chat if you see my message there. Really Kozan on Twitch, so check him out. He's amazing, he's beautiful. Check him out. A lot of the 2v2 event is going to be ongoing. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. We're going to be heading off for now. I'm going to quickly hand the keys to the stream over to Kuro. We're going to be live with World Team League. WTL is going to be coming at your face in like 10 or so minutes. We need a little bit of time to set up, but we'll be back soon. See you then. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hasta luego. Hasta luego. GG, papi. GG. Hold on. It was a good tournament. It was really good. It was really good finals. Shout out to Eddie. Shout out. Hasta luego. Bye.